You're listening to Online Pet Health Podcasts with Dr. Megan Kelly. Continuing education for veterinarian rehabilitation therapists. Learn more at onlinepethealth.com.
Hey vet rehabbers, we are a really close-knit community and I love the way that vet rehabbers are so supportive of one another. And it doesn't matter where we are in the world, there are vet rehabbers all over that are there to lift you up when you need it, to celebrate your wins, and to hold your hand when things are not going so well. And we really proved this during COVID, even when we could not physically be together. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all the vet rehabbers out there for being you. We really love this community, and you make our jobs at Online Pet Health really just so rewarding. It's 3 days to go till the Vet Rehab Summit. If you are not an Online Pet Health member, you can purchase their access on Saturday. We also have a free limited access ticket, so please invite your colleagues to attend. Online Pet Health members, you get free VIP access on Saturday. If you are listening to this after the 12th of November 2022, all the recordings from our Vet Rehab Summit over the last 6 years, together with all the webinars, are available in our membership to Online Pet Health members. We have just reached 400 hours of vet rehab learning on our platform. If you want to find out more, you can go to vetrehabsummit.com. And also a thank you to our gold sponsor for the event, Curacall Vet. Now, many of you know I sit on the board of the IAVRP team, so I decided to call on May Roma, our chair, to join me today to chat about why it's so important to recognize our colleagues. 3 years ago, the IAVRPT started a Vet Rehab Therapist of the Year award, and we will be announcing this year's winner at the Vet Rehab Summit on Saturday. I wish all the finalists the best of luck, and I know that just becoming a finalist is a massive achievement, and just that you all know that we recognize and we see you all. Before we head over to that chat, a quick word from our sponsors. Choosing the right therapy laser and PMF systems for your practice are big decisions, and that's why Response System has been helping to make that decision easier for over 35 years by offering both Class 3B and Class 4 lasers, as well as a full line of PMF products designed for both small animals and horses. All their systems are fully rechargeable and adapted for international grids. You can find out more at responsesystem.com. Please also come and chat to Response System and all the other sponsors at this year's Vet Rehab Summit on Saturday. We have a whole exhibitors section. We've got some amazing people that offer services and products to the vet rehab community. Don't forget, it's Saturday, 12th of November. It's in 3 days' time, guys. We can't wait. So over to my chat with May. Hey, vet rehabbers. Thank you so much for joining us. May, awesome to have you online again with me. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's bright and early. Thank you for we were actually supposed to have this on at an hour's time, and then we're having some problems in South Africa here with our electricity. So I had to WhatsApp May last night. I was like, May, we have to go an hour early. We've got electricity issues here. So thank you, May, for the change in time. And this is about us recognizing our colleagues. We're going to have, May and I are going to have a chat about it. We at the IAVRPT, as well as on a Pet Health, feel like this is something very, very important, and we want to chat about it. We have the IAVRPT Veterinary Rehabilitation Therapist of the Year award that's coming up. We've got nominations, and the award will be given over, or we would announce the winner at this year's Vet Rehab Summit on the 12th of November. So we're very excited about that. May, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, about the IAVRPT before we start?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm May Reumer, and I'm the president of the IAVRPT. The IAVRPT is the International Association of Veterinary Rehabilitation and Physical Therapy. It's a mouthful. It says, I mean, the title says what it is. We are a group, we are an association of veterinarians, physical therapists, veterinary nurses, researchers, all actually, it's an umbrella organization of everybody who is active in the veterinary rehabilitation and physical therapy. And the good thing about it, at least, of course, I think it's good. The good thing about it is that we build a team together. It's not, rehabilitation is not the work of one vet, one physio, one vet nurse, or whatever. It's a team. We need the researchers, we need everybody. And by being this umbrella organization, we give people the chance to easily access each other, to easily reach out to each other. And we also grab the chance to not only to speak to each other, but also about each other. I mean, we're talking about recognition today, and recognition is something this is such a, it's a relatively new field we're working in. So we have to be visible, and we have to, everybody needs, I think, an example. Everybody needs someone to look up at. And how do you find that in this new field? You find that by joining our association, but also by making sure that we're visible, that people can see what we are doing. And I think that's one of the things that lie close to my heart, and one of the things that IAVRPT also tries to do. And the award is one way to do that.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, you've touched on a few of the importance of recognizing our colleagues. What are some other things that you can think of why it's so important for us to recognize colleagues? And they can be anything, like you say,
Yeah.
part of that whole vet rehab team.
Yeah. It's also, I think, we want to spread the word that this is a serious profession. Whatever smaller profession you have in this field, we want to make sure that people understand that you can do something and that there are professionals out there. So in order to make people understand that, you have to make sure that we see those professionals. So it's to help spread the word, but also to make sure that this field advances, that it gets a higher level. You can't reach out for a higher level if you're just working somewhere in the dark, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's a way of helping the whole field be more professional and grow.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, on a personal level, if someone celebrates or shares one of my achievements, how it makes me feel, I
It,
feel really good, right?
yeah,
I feel confident. I
yeah,
feel part of something bigger because
yeah.
that's actually what we're building here. I mean, the IAVRPT is an international association and it's bringing everyone together and you feel a part of something, right? So I think, that's one thing is that knowing that when we celebrate our colleagues, this is how they're feeling. And when you feel like that, I think your ability for growth is so much better
It
because
is.
when you're in that confidence state, then you just want to keep growing. And I think, like you say, it advances our field in the long run.
It's we recently had a symposium where we finally, after 4 years, met each other again. And I don't know about you, you were there as well, but I felt so good because it feels like a rehab family.
Yeah.
And we organized it. So we were able to invite the speakers that we admired. We invited the speakers that we knew could help tell something important, and sharing that we made it well, how do I say that we gave them the chance to share. That is also a way of acknowledging their work.
Yeah.
But it made me feel so good, because sometimes someone says to you, this is a very nice conference, and you know I feel so much better. A little compliment can make such a difference. I mean, you can do it on a large scale, like asking people to talk. Do you see the sun is coming through? You can do it on a small scale, like introducing someone and asking them to speak at the conference. Or sorry, a large scale. But you can also do it on a small scale, saying you did this very well, and it makes you grow. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. Don't
So
you?
we obviously mentioned the IAVRPT award. What are the other ways in which we can recognize our colleagues? So what are the things that we can do to make them feel recognized?
I think reaching out to them is very important. Like I just said, these small compliments are very important. But we can also talk about them. We can also say to others that this or that person is very good at it, at what he or she is doing. And we could give them the opportunity to write blogs on our websites or on social media. There are so many ways nowadays with the internet to make sure that people are visible.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the award obviously is an amazing one, because even if you just get nominated, that is a massive achievement. So our IAVRPT award is coming up now. And what will happen is people have been nominated, and then there'll be a finalists out of that nominations. And if you're one of those finalists or even just nominated, it's an amazing achievement. And then obviously the IAVRPT members will vote, and we will get the IAVRPT Vet Rehab Therapist of the Year award, whoever will win. That's obviously a massive, massive thing to achieve. But there are lots of other awards actually, and they don't necessarily have to be in the vet rehab field. You know, especially in the UK, I see they have the Star Awards, and there's a whole lot of awards that they have there, and they recognize people in our field, all of our colleagues. And, you know, what I want to say is that if you see one of our colleagues, whether they're a vet nurse, vet rehab therapist, or part of our vet rehab team, and you see that they've won something or been nominated, instead of just scrolling past on social media, like, hit the comments and say, well done, congratulations, you know, share that post. Because the more we do that, the more we spread the word about veterinary rehabilitation, and all the pet owners, horse owners that are following us or on our pages will see that. They will see, wow, you know, they're actually recognizing this as a profession. And that's really what we're trying to achieve. And even just, you know, the other day I was asked by in Cape Town here in South Africa, a women's summit. There was like a women's entrepreneur summit, and I was asked to do a lecture. And I did this lecture, and you know, I had such imposter syndrome when I did it. You know, I sat there and I listened to all these women before me, and I actually thought, what am I doing here? Like, why am I lecturing here? Like, I thought, like, I must have been like the last person they had. Like, maybe, you know, I had such bad imposter syndrome. And what was so amazing is afterwards, there were loads of people and vet rehabbers here in South Africa who had actually attended this conference. It was all
Oh,
online. I just got all these messages like, wow, I saw your talk, and it was so amazing and so inspiring. And afterwards I was like, oh, well, wow, like that was actually okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, all of us suffer from this imposter syndrome, and this
yes.
is something we're going to be tackling at this year's Vet Rehab Summit. We've got quite a lot on imposter syndrome. But you must know that if you guys feel like that, our colleagues also feel like that. So even the top lecturers in our profession will at sometimes have these little imposter moments. And when you send them a message, it takes them from feeling that horrible feeling to like, wow, actually, I'm okay, you know? So yeah, that's really what we want to do. And just when you have a thought, I always say this to myself because, you know, everyone's busy and it's hectic and it's time. And you see something that someone's done. When I have a thought, I message a person and I'll say it instead of like thinking, oh, I'll comment later or whatever. Just as soon as you have any thoughts, you just say it to that person.
It's
That's
very
the best.
important. Yeah. Yeah. And what you should also realize what it does to say when you're a therapist, what it does to the owner of to their clients. The fact
Yeah,
that their therapist has won an award or is
yeah,
recognized on social media, that's so very powerful.
yeah, for
And
sure.
and one of the things the IAVRP also does when we're talking about the award is that we invite nominees for the award to lecture at a virtual conference in spring, because that's also a way of recognizing them, of acknowledging their importance. They can pick their topic. It's always interesting, and it makes them it of course it's a lot of work for them, but it makes them feel good afterwards, and we learn from them. That's very good as well.
May, let's chat about teams a little bit. So, like, obviously, when you're working in a team, and I mean, this could be a team where you're all together, maybe under the same roof, but maybe you're working with other professionals, and maybe you're not all under the same roof, maybe you're at different places. Can you give us some ideas how you think we could recognize and uplift our team members? Because, you know, I think that recognizing our colleagues on other areas of the world is also important, but sometimes we've got to look local, you know, where we are.
Well, did in my own practice is, of course, give compliments when people deserved it, but also put things on our website, celebrate people of our team on our website, saying he or she is very good at this, she did that very well, or tell something in a little blog. But what I also did is reach out to the veterinarian. I'm a physical therapist. So I also reached out to the veterinarians or the chiropractors or the osteopath, paths, acupuncture, whoever. I reached out to them and tell them that I was happy with them. Tell them about, well, for instance, when I got a dog back from them, and I saw that they improved, I would call them or write them an email saying, "Hey, this dog improved really very well, and it's so nice to work with you." It's important that they also know that I see what they are doing, that they know that I value collaboration we have, because I've never worked alone. I mean, I've never thought that the achievement, the fact that the dog was better again, was my own work. It's always teamwork.
Yeah.
So telling that, and I also wrote articles where I stressed the importance of collaboration and gave examples of how I work together with other disciplines. So it's small ways, but it works.
Yeah, great ideas, May. And I mean, I think for me, if I think back to my practice, one of the things we used to do is have weekly meetings. And, I think those are really great times where you can recognize your team members because you're all together and you have an ability to be able to say, well done to that person. It makes them feel really, really good in doing that. And also, we used to do it in our monthly newsletters. So we
Yeah,
would recognize people and their achievements.
true.
And
That
that also really helps with the owners because they
yeah,
get to see that, right?
I did that as well. You're
Yeah.
right. I forgot.
So, what are the things that our vet rehabbers could be doing that we could recognize? So,
Oh,
what are the
yeah.
things? Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, it's great research, writing articles, bringing the something new, being innovative. Innovative is the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Innovation. Yeah.
yeah, being a great advocate for the profession. There are so many ways. I mean, it's not just you treating a dog or a horse well and the horse get better or the dog gets better, but it's also telling people about it, teaching others, being a mentor.
Yeah.
There are so many ways, and it's actually it is really fun. I've always loved it. We have a profession we're very proud of, and I was always very, very happy to do it. It's the greatest work in the world. So what could be better than teach other people to do the same work, to tell other people that my profession is the best profession in the world, to try to learn more, try to bring the field further. It's the best thing to do. But I think those are, and anyone can do that. It's not just you, Megan, and me. Anyone can do that. And it doesn't have to be big. Every little way to give other people if you simply say to one of your colleagues that just started, if you have any questions, come to me, or shall we talk this case through, or whatever. I mean, anyone can do that.
Completely. Yeah. I just actually thought about another way in which the IAVRPT recognizes our vet rehabbers, and that is our fellows.
Yeah.
So we had two fellows this year, Kiki Hausler and Matt Brunke. So that's going to be my one. I was trying to type it quickly while you were talking, and that's when it froze. So I'm not going to do that again. Yeah, that's my. I'd like to recognize and put out there Kiki Hausler and Matt Brunke. Yeah, our fellows are something that we do on every 2 years, right, May?
No, it's more like when someone comes up with writes a letter of recommendation for someone,
Yeah.
and then we look at that someone and see whether a fellowship is something that he or she deserves.
Yeah. And that fellow is somebody who has achieved something in our field, whether it be research, helped, and basically helped with advancement of our
Yeah,
field. And I'm not sure how, do you know how many we have?
10,
10
I
fellows. Yeah.
think. I think maybe
Yes.
one more or one less, but I
Yeah.
think 10.
Yeah. You're a fellow too. You've also
I'm
got
a
a
fellow
fellow.
too.
No?
Yeah.
You are a fellow. Yeah. So, May, it's been absolutely amazing chatting to you. So please, guys, let's try and like spread some word about
Yeah.
people and just recognize people right here, right now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And
Start recognizing.
yeah, and I just really encourage you just to share the love. Really, this is what we want to do: is share any achievements. Just reach out to people, even small things. Like whenever I'm on social media, I love it. I get so excited. I see the vet rehabbers and then be like, just got my logo and start opening up my practice and like pictures of them. And I love it. And I mean, I try and comment on anyone and everyone that I can see. And I'm there and I feel like I'm excited for, I'm actually there with the excitement for them. And let's do that. Like let's try and within our community now, just support and uplift one another. It's really important.
Because I think when you help others grow, you help the field grow. And you grow yourself. I mean,
Exactly.
it works both ways.
It does. Yeah. Awesome, May. Thank you so
Good.
much for your time. It's been
Thank you.
amazing chatting. Cheers,
Okay.
everyone. Thanks for
Thank
joining us.
you. Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I load a new podcast. I'm here every week talking to vet rehab therapists from all over the world about all things vet rehab. For more information about continuing education for vet rehab therapists, you can go to Onlinepethealth.com. I'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast and, of course, thank our sponsors, Response System. They are as passionate about therapy lasers and PEMF equipment as you are about veterinary rehabilitation. They would love to answer any questions you have, so please feel free to reach out to them at responsesystems.com or you can email lisa@responsesystems.com.